The US, competing cartels, the Colombian government, a motley vigilante squad of murderous people, etc., all wanted Pablo Escobar dead in 1993. Nobody was aware of his location, which was a major issue. The infamous drug lord had somehow managed to remain completely undetected, and he would stay that way until he made a foolish error. An error so stupid that it cost him his life. Then how did Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar feel just before being killed? What insane obsession of his has popped up? What other information do we have regarding his last days? We'll talk all about it in this video, so make sure to stay with us till the end. Pablo Escobar is his name, due to his extensive criminal past and the numerous crimes he committed during the 1970s and 1980s to scare Colombia. He became known internationally as the cocaine czar, the most wanted drug trafficker in the world at the time. He also celebrated his birthday the day before he passed away. Pablo Escobar had a fascination, or perhaps it was more than a fascination, with a fictitious haven that he only knew existed, the shade of light blue. He was always accompanied by this color, like a cherished toy, a shield, he dressed in that shade of clothing. His cars were that color. What that hue did for him was never revealed, not on a whim either. Perhaps it was kept a secret, a reflection of the color of the sky or the ocean. The color reminded him of more than just his childhood. For him, everything was blue. He had a section of the Hacienda Napoles painted pale blue when he was quite wealthy. He had to have shirts and t-shirts in that color in his closet. Ana or Mara Isabel Santos, the name she went by in her exile, said in her book, I also remember that he loved the light blue tones of the portrait La Marina, painted by the artist Francisco Antonio Cano, that I had bought and displayed on one of the walls of the Monaco building in Argentina. La Casa Azul was turned into a museum. It was hidden. My father had been severely beaten, betrayed, but he had a strong connection with us. What wounded him the most was his great display of security to bring his mother, whom he needed, but she refused to stay. She advised her to visit her son Roberto, who was incarcerated. My father, on the other hand, told her that I could see Roberto any day, but not him. He felt saddened when my grandmother left. His expression shifted. It was a disappointment. One Pablo Escobar, author of 2 illuminating novels, Pablo Escobar, My Father, and Pablo Escobar, Tells Info Bay and Fragrance. Escobar was surrounded and was well aware of it. Without resources and betrayed by his comrades, the Medellin cartel leader considered surrendering, but only in exchange for the assurance that Victoria, Manuela, Juan Pablo, and his girlfriend could migrate to another country as exiles. It was a risky play and the clock was ticking. His daughter Manuela was Escobar's weak point. The youngest Escobar, who was 9 years old at the time, was the only one who suffered the most from captivity. The girl described to accompany her grandmother, cousins, and friends. Her father, on the other hand, was very strict about keeping us away from the outside world for security reasons. Only in extraordinary circumstances, and when Manuela had reached rock bottom, did Pablo agree to let her spend the weekend with one of his professors. Making his daughter happy was just as important as finding the Colombian state. Manuela was unaware that her father had only a few days remaining. She would leave her 10-year-old son in Colombia forever a year after moving to La Casa Azul. She would no longer be Manuela, but Juana, and she would go on to live in anonymity in Argentina, which seemed then far away and unreal. When a visitor from Colombia comes to see her, she requests that he bring her a particular mortadella that is not available in Buenos Aires. Her mother explained. Manuela and Pablo would often go to the kitchen in the early hours of the morning to fry mortadella in a saucepan and devour it with rice and Coca-Cola. She's still doing it. The feared drug lord, creator, and pioneer of the Medellin cartel was accountable for the murders of 5,500 people, 627 terrorist attacks, and the kidnapping of 15 Colombians, although no official figures are available, including journalist Diana Turbay, who died in the rescue operation, Francisco Santos Calderon, and Marina Montoya, the sister of the founder of MG Colmotores, who was found dead. The patron of evil who terrorized the country was assassinated on December 2, 1993 in Medellin by the Search blog. Here are a few facts about his demise. The phone call that provided his whereabouts. On July 22, 1992, Escobar escaped from the cathedral prison, a fact that would mark his decline as he would live in hiding and as a fugitive from justice from that point forward, among many other things, because then President Cesar Gaviria made the recording of the drug trafficker a duty of the government and Colombians. ₱1 billion was also promised to anyone who could provide information about the individual. The trafficker sent his family to Bogota, where he called them frequently to see how they were doing. In the midst of the situation and knowing that the group of Los Pepes was also pursuing him, the authorities were able to find him on just one of the several calls he made on December 2, 1993. According to an item in this publication, the man was on the phone in bed when he was startled by the search block. Escobar's last words before his bodyguard Limon was killed were, "Wait, I hear some unusual movements out there." The drug dealer, who was hiding out in a residence in the Los Olivos district of Medellin, was shot and murdered at 2:51 p.m. Escobar's mother, Hermilda Gaviria, arrived a short while later and requested access to see her son's body. The reporters from El Tiempo who covered the story claimed that the woman, one of her children, and the grandchild managed to get past the police patrolling the location. "Do you not have a mother?" she cried, stopping when one of the uniformed guys intervened. "Do you not have any sympathy?" "Perhaps he's not him," the officer replied in an attempt to persuade her. Gaviria remained on the sidewalk in front of the house until 5:12 p.m. when the prosecutor's office personnel retrieved the body. He stated, "God wills it to be so." Journalists claimed that when the mom saw her son, she started crying and hugging her family. The birth record. Victoria Eugenia Henao, the widow of Pablo Escobar, wrote in his book, My Life in My Jail with Pablo Escobar, that the renowned astrologer Mauricio Puerta created a birth chart of the drug lord. He will meet his demise before the end of the year because of the influence of Saturn. The woman who received a Puerta sentence claimed this. The astrologer explained in an interview for El Espectador that, "I said exactly when they were going to execute him, not because I'm a fortune teller, but because, taking into consideration anyone's letter, one analyzes what cycle he's in. Suicide or discharge." The drug dealer's demise is described in 3 different ways. According to the official account, Escobar was killed during a search and black operation. In the year of his death, it was said that the police shot him as he attempted to run away. 3 bullets struck his head. 2 went into his right leg, 1 went into his left thigh, and 1 went above his hip. Hugo Aguilar, the police chief at the time, was in fact given credit for killing the criminal, among other things, after a picture of him standing next to the deceased drug lord's body went viral. However, in his book, This Is How We Assassinate the Boss, Diego Murillo Bejarano, alias Don Berna, said that it was his brother Rodolfo, alias Emilia, who killed the drug trafficker. According to his version, Los Pepes, a group he was part of, was involved in the operation of the authorities. Pablo was rushing across the roof when my brother rushed to the window, pointed at his 5.56mm M16 weapon at him, and shot him in the head, reads the text. However, a third story held by a certain family claims that when the cocaine czar was confronted, he shot himself, committing himself. Escobar, they said, constantly assured them, "We prefer a grave in Colombia over a prison in the United States." And that's all for this video. Let us know what your thoughts are about all of this. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more such videos. See you next time. Bye!